Sure.
Beautiful.
Let's take a look at the map bands. Where are we going to play? What maps are we going to go to? Team Vitality going first. Team Millenium going second. And we have Oregon and Villa already not able to be played. Of course, you know I'm bummed about that Villa not being up there. But
I mean, Vitality played it yesterday against Oregon. This was a pretty sweet game,
Yeah.
to say the least. And, of course, Oregon was played last night by Millenium, and that's why you see both banned and we'll see Border again.
So, many borders being played today, it seems. We have seen a couple times before where where we had border multiple times in a day. I want to say all 4 times in a day. Yeah, so
yeah, that was me and Devin. It was Latin America. It was the first play date. It was a great play date.
The way
Actually, that's the thing. We mentioned this, you and I, a couple days ago. Even though we might get the same maps in a couple of the matches, or maybe even more, we get to see completely different styles of playing on that map.
Right, yeah. So, for example, in this match, we could see a Thermite band. Wink, wink. It'd be really great to have that happen, and that would change up the entire dynamic of the map. That would mean we're shifting from, hey, big open wall, and everybody just starts fragging through that open wall, to, okay, we need to see some finesse, we need to see some maneuvering, some precision, and I mean, maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. But let's see who you thought were going to be the victors here.
Yeah, we'll show up in our community vote as... I have to agree with this. After Millenium's play yesterday, the Vitality with what they've done so far at DreamHack, getting all the way to the final before being shut down by IDK, and a 12% potential on the draw. Yeah.
No big surprise there. Yeah, that's a really reasonable poll, actually. And yeah, I mean, it could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, Millenium's been a little bit shaky recently, but they're still Millenium, and we could still see this go in their favor. I think it's going to be a pretty close match, and I'd be, if it were up to me, I'd be in one of those 12%.
Yeah, and knowing as how Millenium are, we'll head into the game here. As I finish a last point is you got to talk to Millenium at DreamHack, and before we flew back to Katowice, they were telling me, yeah, so we came in, we played at DreamHack, but the fact that we didn't make at least the grand final after having won DreamHack Austin is a big bummer for us, because we prepare a lot, we work a lot, and that's how they won at DreamHack Austin. But here, when they came back, they played their first matchup in EU Pro League. Yesterday, it didn't work out too well for them. Playing against Market, and they let things slip. So we'll see what happens. Habana's going to be banned, which means...
So...
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about potentially this map playing very much different than the previous one.
Oh.
And with no hard destructors, this will be by far and away very likely one of the most defensive-sided maps we're going to see all day, following just playing Border one match prior and it being entirely attacker-sided, and that is just hilarious.
This is completely different. I actually casted a very... I'm imagining Mira will be the last operator banned here, but honestly, I had to cast a game like this with Emzo a couple weeks back. It was, I think, in the first Latin America play day as well, when we had the 4 borders. One of the matches, I think it was number 2 or number 3, where Habana and Thermite will both ban.
You can tell that Vitality were not expecting the Thermite ban from Millenium when they banned Habana, and
Vitality always bans Echo because it's a big operator against them. Maestro Echo banned Habana Thermite, which means Mira is gonna be.
Still
boy, you thought Mira was good? Oh boy, when there's no hard destruction, you bet.
Rest assured. Now, this is actually really interesting. So because there's no hard destructors, and Twitch hasn't been banned, nor has IQ, nor has anyone who could potentially open up the mirror window from below, because Millenium's going to have those tools available to open the mirror windows, if opened, actually act in the opposite direction of what you would expect. So open mirror window is way worse than no mirror window at all.
Yeah.
And it's really not hard to get that done on Border. So I actually think the Mira play here could be the key that Millenium needs to deal with the Vitality defense if they can open the windows.
Ah.
Oh, a Fuse 6-pick. That's weird.
Where will they set him up on the...
Oh, okay.
Okay. There have been a couple of crashes going on in the past couple of days, so we'll get Rafael
Happens.
back into the game. But yeah, let's talk about that fuse pick, because even though we're gonna have to rehost, you still have to pick the same operators.
Well, we'll let the admins decide exactly what goes on there, since it was still during the pick phase. But yeah, I think
It was like right at the
I would
last
imagine they're
second.
going to need to pick the same operators. But we'll let the admins make the decision making there, and we'll see what actually happens when we get into it.
They have to pick the
So
same.
yeah, it's
there
been
we go. We just
confirmed.
got confirmation from production. So there you go. That fuse, and they're attacking armory lockers. Is it gonna be played mostly on that armory window, or what do you think?
See, when you have no
I
hard
put you on the spot.
no, this is totally doable.
Yeah.
When you have no hard destructors, you have to look for the finite, like the really small avenues. So like the things that are already pre-established on the map. And if I'm thinking about the most open site when I don't have a hard destructor, I'm gonna want to hit the B site, because there's a number of reasons why. First of all, if I'm pressuring from the north balcony. From that north balcony, you can open up the window and you can establish a line of sight to cut off rotation. If you do that with like for a Blackbeard, for example, and you just hold that angle, then you just sit them on that position for the whole round. You're cutting off rotation. That's huge. Then from there, you can still get control of office without a hard destructor. It's very unlikely that the defenders are going to reinforce the entire office wall, which means any soft destructor can get you in through that avenue. And then once you have control over offices, you've got fountain entrance to work with. And yes, it's a 90-degree angle, and it can be really hard to fight. And the defenders can set up some pretty difficult, traps inside of fountains. We've seen some shield play in there. We've seen some, Maestro sitting by the fountain itself. Just there's some good places you can play that as a defensive team. But if the attackers do get control of it, and it's very feasible, and all you need is flashbangs, grenades, something like that, then you have a crossfire on the site. So you haven't opened up B yet, and there's very likely going to be a smoke inside of B, playing the close angle with the shotgun, the SMG, and having the gas canisters to delay the push from the other balcony. But there's wiggle room there for you as an attacking team. You've got a crossfire. You cut off the rotation. You can deal with the guy in sight via nades, flashbangs, stuff like that. And then once you have site control, it's as simple as plant diffuser and play from outside. You don't even need to necessarily deal with the guy inside of B. If it's not a smoke, if it's not someone with a C4, if they're not playing C4 underneath, you can go ahead and plant in the B site on the other side of the shelving unit. And I know there's an indestructible wall there, but usually the defenders will still open up holes to lob C4s over, indestructible floor, I mean. So there's always a way to counter the play here that we're likely to see from the attackers. The defenders are definitely in the advantage, so nothing here is going to be absolute. It's going to be a mix-up. We're going to see a lot of slugfests. We're just going to see teams getting down and dirty, really just trying to frag out on each other. Either that, or the attackers are going to be bamboozled. They're not going to have a clue what they're doing, and this will be just a sweep for the defensive side for both halves.
Number one, God, he's so smart, isn't he? Two, I was just admiring. But number two, I fully agree on that second point. Last time we got to cast this, it was very much a slog, and the attackers had no clue. Now, you mentioned it when the ban phase was happening. Vitality took the entire time to pick their ban, which might signal that, okay, we didn't really expect this. I guess we're going to have to make something out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were touching on earlier. When we saw the Vitality last ban, they were so hesitant. They were like, oh boy, okay, what do we do here? Now, the reason that it might work out for them is that they get to defend first. But that actually could work against them because it gives them less time to plan and prepare. If you're not sure what you're doing on defense, even if there's no hard destructors, sometimes you're going to lose a couple rounds here and there. And because Millenium were the ones to ban the second hard breacher, that means they do know what they're doing. There's no way they put themselves in that hole going into attack first half, and they have no clue how to attack without hard breachers. All that said, we have the game ready for you guys, and we'll actually go back into it. We'll start loading this up.
Yeah, we load on into Border. We'll remind you, both of our hard destructors are banned, and both of the, big Season 8 meta anchors are banned of Maestro and Echo.
Yeah.
So this is all up to super defensive setup with Mira not being banned, with Jaeger available, and of course with the smoke being brought in. Zephyr will go for the Bandit. Of course, Vibu on T5 with the Legion.
So, this is going to be really interesting. The first couple rounds are the most important. Vitality is going to get more and more comfortable on defense, having no hard breachers as time progresses. However, again, there is no way, it cannot be, in my mind, Millenium does not know how to play without either hard breacher, because they're the ones who put themselves in this hole. So, if Millenium can eke out 1 round, 2 rounds, even 3 in this first half, you know, they're very likely going to come in the beginning of the first half rather than the end of the first half, because again, Vitality is going to get more comfortable as time progresses. And if they do get those rounds, then they're going to have a great time when they switch over to defense, because they're ready for this.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add as well is, having rewatched the French Nationals, at least that was on the B stream, Millenium did play 1 game. Oh, that's the Twitch you were talking about. And you mentioned, no, Mira window taken down is much worse than not having one. But we'll go back to the point. On the B stream for the French Nationals, with Fofio Patu was casting on there, props to him, Millenium played 1 game with no hard destructors, and I think after that matchup that they did win, they practiced things around just to see, hey, what would happen just in case?
Yeah, so there have been a few teams in the Pro League who have been really experimenting with the idea of banning out hard breachers. And I know we've been talking about it a lot today because it's oh so relevant, but that's the thing, is you only have those 2 hard breachers, and they are 2 of the most important operators in the game. So it's definitely a doctrine that you can commit yourself to. Hicks, a hip-fire pistol kill on the Zephyr as he peeks into the A door. Don't even need to open the wall if you've got a shield in front of you, and Vitality already starting off pretty poorly.
That PMM is like a sniper rifle, because that thing does so much damage, it out-damages DMRs.
Yeah, it's only got 9 bullets, but it is really an exceptional pistol. Did see a couple nerfs a while back, but still great. Rise is going to miss a few shots, very important ones at that under Raphael, and the gas canister will be detonated. So further delay for the attackers. Now you have to remember, oh, a down onto the smoke from the nade of Rise. What a play, but no follow-up means no secured kill. At least 50 damage done. That's something you could take away from that situation. Raphael, meanwhile, in the site will get Yogurts. Yogurts gets a Claymore kill on the Spark as he attempts to run out. Richiro through the smoke gets Raphael. Good refrag. Millenium in the lead right now, again, despite the lack of hard breachers, and a good pinch situation with the Twitch on the north balcony. Hicks is ready to push in with the shield, but from Bebo from below, unable to get the kill, somehow misses those shots. Brid going to be hip-fired to death by Hicks. That's 2 for him. And Bibu just coming upstairs now will get Liven as he attempts to take control over A. Very little HP on this Legion, and as the diffuser gets planted, it's unlikely he's going to be able to clutch this out.
Yeah, he's got so little health. All the angles are being held by the attackers on Millenium. They even have the shield in CCTV, and Rise clips the shoulder, and you see the Legion rolling like our good buddy Neymar. Now, the thing is, every single round you get as an attacker like this is huge. Even if you get only 2 rounds, that is huge by the end of the half.
I was saying earlier, you know, and they're going to come early, because that's what Millenium are planning on. They're banking on this. They are expecting no hard breaches. You know, it looks like you're shooting yourself in the foot when you see it happen, but you can tell the Millenium are well versed in this playstyle, and it's working out for them so far. It really is an oddity, though. It really is.
Yeah, it's not something you see that often. I mean, within our 3 weeks now, so pretty much 15 play days between all the region. Not even count. That's 3 regions. That's not even counting APAC. So if you count in APAC and their qualifier for Paris Major and Paris Major qualifiers as well for the other regions, this is like the 3rd time that we've seen this happen.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting.
What in total? In over 100 matches.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see every time it does happen, and it makes teams do weird things like push over to tellers and bathroom. Okay, so let's explore here the mentality
With
behind
no
this.
thermal.
No, there's a good mentality here.
Yeah,
I
I
can
agree.
see. I can see why Vitality is going to go here, and it's like you were saying, it's the lack of a thermite is going to make this a really hard attack, because how do you play Bathroom Tellers? Vertically. Hold upstairs, maintain control over offices. And that's the beautiful thing, really. You only need to hold offices. You need to deny archives in the hallway and fountain, but you only need to hold offices. You usually just do the others by proxy. So this is a really good move from Vitality. It's going to allow them a lot of flexibility. And considering all of the entries into the site downstairs are going to be via bottlenecks that are established by the map, there's not a lot Millennium's going to be able to do to maneuver around this other than addressing the top floor directly.
Yeah, what they have brought here, Millennium, is living again on the Twitch. Because it's, wasn't banned, because they get 2 bans, then that Mira might have a bit of a hard time, just like we saw in the first round with the window that was set up in the armory desk. Livin coming in here, scouting things out, not going to find anybody in security room, as you mentioned, the whole setup plays around archive, fountain, and especially offices. I'm not a big fan of having players in the armory for too long for defenders, because this can happen. That's the kill. Zephyr is on the floor. He has not been taken out just yet, but Yogurts will come in to try and finish things off. And might be even using this as a bait for a second player.
So, live in droning and Yogurt's fragging. Rise will clean up that kill. And full control over Armory for Millennium. A very good start to this round. The next step, of course, is going to be Archives. You can see there's some Millennium players in the hallway setting up for just that. Here comes the EE1D to allow for an easier push into Archives. They're going to have to face a mirror window, though, so that's up to Liven to use his Twitch drone to destroy that mirror window, or this push is going to be exceptionally difficult.
Yogurt's holding cross angle here. He's not running an ACOG on the Lion. Definitely make things happen as well. There's not much ammo that he has still left in reserve, because he was using it to pre-fire to shoot through into unreinforced walls, because you do so much penetration damage. And there's minute 5 on the clock, but with this site, as you mentioned, it is all about taking control of the top floor, and once that's done, time doesn't really matter. Here on the cross will go the castle of Bibu, as he somehow evades all the fire from Renshiro, only taking a bit of damage. He'll peek in. Renshiro still finds a kill. The grenade's going to get lobbed on in. And there's 3 players alive in the back. The C4 will miss. As the office will get pushed from the side. Livin in control of the east stairs as Yogurts has no more E1D to play. Grenade throws up 1 C4 as Yogurts will get 1. See the rotation from the defenders trying to get out of this site here. Rafal gets 1, Bride with the second, but it's a 3v2. Bride is downstairs, though, as Renshiro threads the needle with barely any health left for him. 18 seconds on the clock. Rafal, beautiful headshot onto Livin with a 2 versus 1. Rafal will have to face against
10 seconds remaining.
There's rushing on into the back as Rafal gets the kill on Renshiro. Hicks will have time here to go for the plant as Rafal will move in from the site. No! Go for the plant! No for the plant! No! Oh no, the bandit not falling for the tricks for even a second. Stands back and waits for time. As unfortunately, even though Millennium had every advantage there at the end, they still are not able to eke it out.
It was all up to Rafael and his amazing clutch. 1 versus many, and able to play that clock oh so well. He went from the top floor in offices after it had already been taken control of by Millennium. He snuck out, dropped down, and then maneuvered around all of his opponents. Really running in circles, but also efficiently, and not allowing Millennium to confront him directly. Really well played there from the Bandit.
Yeah, I have to say, this is the thing with Vitality. Even yesterday when they were playing Villa and attacking into Aviation Room, they're like, there's 10 seconds left, all 5 players are alive, yet somehow Vitality just smoke, go in for a plant, and actually make it happen. Some of the things that Vitality are able to pull off, it's as if they live in their own bubble of time, and everything slows down by those last 20 seconds where they're able to focus and hone in their skills. It's absolutely insane to see this level of skill being displayed so consistently day after day.
Right. So, last time we had Millenium attack onto the top floor. They were successful. They didn't do anything as elaborate as the strategy that was laid out before the match even started. They just pushed in through the A doorway and then got killed. I did, and Hicks hip fired with that PMM, and he got kills. He made it happen. It's just
5 seconds left.
oh, there's a little bit of hilarity to it, but we'll see if Millenium does the same strategy or if they try and mix things up. We're going to have a little bit of mix-up here on Vitality's side. Now, this is really interesting. No hard breacher, so you'd imagine more reinforcements, right? But here, less from Vitality. They're going to actually get aggressive on the mirror window on the west wall.
I think they're doing this to try and contest the shield ASAP.
And because they're using roamers in CCTV. So if you roam in CCTV, you are mostly exposed to that west balcony. And so if the mirror window on that west wall from A is able to is placed a little bit more aggressively, then you can support your CCTV roamers and allow them to stay in their position longer.
You know what I'm afraid of though here for Vitality is because there's the IQ ping. She might just come around from below and destroy that mirror window the instant it's spotted because, you know, obviously you have that advantage from ventilation.
You also have Liven on the Twitch drone, and I think I heard a mirror window open. I'm not certain, can't quite tell. We'll find out.
It looks like it got popped.
We'll find out later. Renshiro, though, starting the frags off with kill on Dabibu, and Brit exposed to Hicks, taking a little bit of damage. Yogurts will follow up with a kill into Zephyr. So already a good start from Millenium, but Raphael answers back, and Yogurts finished off. So no more EE1Ds in this round.
And the Mira has fallen back behind the half wall, so Renshiro is looking for that angle. Hicks, though, can move in on the fuse. The two operators that are lost on the defense are the Legion and the Jaeger. Now, the Legion is that important operator, especially, oh no, the smoke is going to get burned out here. Obviously, you bring the fuse, you have an extra smoke to play with. The Mira is going to run away, and Renshiro will get an easy kill on Indeed. And that's now 3 out of play. Spark, at least they'll have a nitro cell. There we go. Can rotate around to fight from the office. So have to support Rafael. Livin waiting around for any potential rotation from the stairs. But that's Spark's position here for the defense.
Super important position there for the Twitch to cut off the rotation here. Rafael is going to be able to deny that defuse plan, at least initially, but he's got 50 seconds left to go and only 1 gas canister left at the most. Nitro still on the Valkyrie, but Spark will lose that fight. Liven really on fire right now. Rafael, the last defender, going to get 1. Not able to shoot through the shield. Shotgun comes out and he misses it. Hicks will secure that with a hipfire yet again. Really knows how to play that fuse shield.
This is what Millenium have been hiding. This is absolutely perfect. 2 rounds that are now on the board for Team Vitality, for Team Millenium, and that's already too many. Really,
you want to say Vitality because there's no hard destructors.
It's a slip. It's a slip. You're not expecting it. You mentioned there's no Hibana, there's no Thermite. This is why we're kind of sounding a bit delirious on it, because once those 2 operators are banned, especially on border, things become so difficult.
Speaking of slips, I really have to critique Vitality's play in that round. They saw the lack of hard destructors and the fact that they were unable to successfully defend Army the first time, and their response to that, their answer was, hey, let's go into CCTV, which is the opposite of what you should be doing. That's you're anchoring less than, you're turtling less. And the reason turtling is countered, the hardest counter to, you know, just playing the site, getting more reinforced, hard destructors, they don't exist. You need something to deal with the shield. That was the ultimate issue in the first defensive round. Vitality needs to bring someone to counter that shield play.
And you know what? Because Vitality banned the Echo because they're afraid of him once they go on the attack because they're so dependent on time, they kind of, you know, shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot more complicated.
They actually did really shoot themselves in the foot. That's interesting because they paused and they thought about it and they made the wrong decision ultimately.
Because they were thinking, oh, you know what? We'll ban the Echo, so we'll make things a bit easier for ourselves on the attack. Yeah, but things are already so complicated for you on the attack, you might as well make your chances as best as they can be, especially knowing that you're going to start off on the defense.
Yeah.
So leave the Echo, play him just in case, because I was expecting, you know, maybe a Blitz, maybe a Monty, but the Fuse is working fine. They're not even using a utility, they just have that pocket sniper rifle with the PMM.
So, more of the same here from Vitality. They are, I think, overthinking this. They're overcomplicating this defense, and they're choosing to yet again push into CCTV. Now, this could work. It could absolutely work, but I don't think it's going to be by virtue of a properly executed strategy. I think it'll be by virtue of pure fragging potential from Vitality, which they have a whole lot of. Now, if Millenium don't make any mistakes in this round, I believe they're going to be able to take this yet again. They have yet to lose an armory attack.
Well, Yogurts is downstairs and the hatch is open in CCTV. Oh no, Spark peeks in and lands the headshot.
Mistake number one.
Yeah, that's from downstairs, and Vitality for once will go for the lead. Something they have sorely missed. Goomine will get set up and promptly tased to bits. See, ADSs as well will get burned. Make sure not to destroy your own drone as Rise will try to come in from the break room. Renshiro is right behind. They might just be expecting somebody to rotate through against him here, but Hicks, he doesn't care. He comes in and gives Zephyr a good love tap there, taking him out in the head.
They talk about Julio's blitz play, but do they talk enough about Hicks's fuse shield play? I think after today, they certainly will.
Yes, they will.
He has been instrumental in these rounds in establishing control for Millenium, and it looks like we're going to actually see a rotation. This is really interesting. A still mirror window on the west wall as 2 mirror windows were placed to hold A site, which means B site is really underheld, and it's going to allow a good rotation for Millenium, and now they have office control without any contention.
This is so intelligent from Millenium, thinking on their feet, immediately changing their setup. The Goomine will get spotted and destroyed. Rise has an extra grenade to play with just in case, as Livin is watching the rotation on the hallway. That's the important part. You do not want to be blindsided. Again, the walls are reinforced in the archive, but you can just run on in and get a kill off of it, just like Rise does. And they'll go in for the plant on the side, and Renshiro will just have a clear line of sight. This is something you were talking about even before the match started. And there you go. They make it happen, and with a fuse gas canister thrown in, but Rise is still peeking. Livin will catch one off on the rotation in the hallway. Now it's Bride and Rafal last alive. Rafal will get taken down. You see, jump into the office. Hicks lands the long-range shot with the PMM. You know what? If Millenium actually take this, I just want to flat out ask him, yo, what's with the shield? What is this? Who planned this? What genius planned this setup?
Yeah, all I know is the shield, the fuse shield is working great for Hicks right now. He seems to be in his element. And yeah, that was the execution pretty much that we were theorizing before the match even started, because it's really doable without any hard destructors. I mean, you saw the nades come out to clear out the B side itself in Raw. You saw the push from the balcony because it's a little bit safer to do so if you don't know if there's anyone actually playing in the site. We even saw a nice reaction there from Rise, because in theory, Team Vitality had a good counter in place for it. That Legion playing in B was in the right position at the right time. He just lost the fight to Rise. So overall, stellar attack from Millenium, great rotation, perfect timing on the rotation. They had taken control over CCTV, which is huge. If they had just left CCTV open and not challenged it in the beginning of the round and allowed those roamers to stay there, then we would have seen a different result, because at that point, Vitality is allowed to rotate around your attack and get some flanks off. And yes, Livin is playing at the top of East Stairs to cut off that rotation, but still, he can only win so many fights. Good play there from Millenium. Really, props to him. And we talked about how if you get any attacking wins, they have so much more weight with our operator bans. And then we've got 3 now for Millenium.
That's something you want to have if you're just playing a default game when there's a Thermite still on your side. We talked about this in our previous matchups. Like, 3 rounds on the attack, it's pretty darn good. Well, 3 rounds on both of the hard breachers are banned. Honestly, I see this where this might be the perfect point to bring out not only the castle, but also a cap cannon, and he would work fine with this.
You know what's interesting also about the fuse?
Yeah.
Have you seen him use his cluster charge? Because I haven't.
No.
I haven't seen him use it one time. He's just been...
I thought his ability was a shield. I don't know what you're on about, Mike.
No, seriously, we have not seen him use his cluster charge as far as we've been able to track.
No,
it's got a very distinct sound. So I imagine, I can't hear much, but I imagine I would have been able to hear that. and yeah, it's very surprising that it's still, they don't even need it. But now, okay, no, I say all of that, and now we're dealing with a workshop ventilation defense, which means, well, what does it mean, Milosh?
You go in, you take control of the armory, and you use those charges right down in. You destroy everything that is set up in and around the site and make things easier for yourself. And you know what? You catch one player off guard, bam, they're dead.
Yeah, so while we haven't been seeing it on Armory, because we've seen a lot of Armory defenses, now that it's vertical play, and yes, we did see a Tellers, that's fair, but the attackers didn't have...
Oh, what?
Speaking of vertical play, Spark with the perfect timing on the C4, and he will get an initial kill. That's Yogurts, again the Lion, that's 2 rounds in a row, and actually 3 total that he has been the first eliminated.
There you go, cluster charge, the Ura is gonna finally be used by our Fuse here. It'll take down part of the wall as well, give him a bit of an angle when coming in. Unfortunately, he's right in front of the desk, so yeah, doesn't really bring too much to the table.
It's actually kind of counter to the defenders, or for the attackers, if they want to push into B, but they don't have to push B necessarily. Now they're looking to equalize. Millenium want to get another frag here. They want to get that 4-4 situation, because if they start a push when they're a man down, it's going to be really hard for them to win out the fights.
Rafael, you see where Rafael and Bibu are. Bibu still has a C4 to play with. So, you know, combo that with the fact that he's the Pulse. It's already it's a lot of damage that can be done from below.
Now, Brid gets another one for Vitality, so this site seems to favor the French Vitality team a lot more than Armory. Good choice by them to rotate. And on the other hand, Millenium are struggling just a little bit here with the vertical play, which is counterintuitive, again, considering they have that Fuse. You would expect it to be the opposite. But no, it seems like Millenium just want to take direct one-on-one fights and win those to give themselves leads, but they're struggling to find those fights right now.
They will count on Rise to give them a bit of an extra angle from the top stairs. Rafael goes in, is not baited in by the quick tap of the glass. Hicks will move in, but they hear him on the side. He's going to get dropped and taken out thanks to the cast, and Rise will turn around to get the kill, but unfortunately that does not give him enough time to get the diffuser down. With 3 kills on the board, there was only 1 alive, and you know what? It's not really a situation you're going to win. It took a bit of a while to come in, but you know, we can't really be too tough on that attack, especially when there's no hot breachers again, and 3 rounds are already on the board for Millenium as we head into round number 6. And Michael, that means those roles, those positions, they're going to be switched, and Millenium are on the defense.
Okay, right off the
this
bat.
is what I was expecting.
Yeah, so we do have Montaigne for Vitality, and we're going to see the continuation of Mira's usefulness in this match. And by exchange, Twitch as well on the attack to counter that Mira.
That was Customs. Thing is, Customs is not... I mean, it's kind of lost its luster. It was a site that a few months ago was figured out. People played it, and it worked out fine for them on the defense. However, it was figured out by the attackers very swiftly, and now it's been failing more often than not.
So yeah, Customs is a pocket strategy, you know, similar to Tellers. It's the sort of site that you bring out to mix things up, to throw your opponent off. And it worked great when it was brand new, like you said. But after that, once you figure it out, it's figured out. However, it's still a viable strategy. It's still a viable map. And as I always like to say, the meta in Siege is cyclical. You could only remember so much. Eventually, you're going to forget how to attack a certain site. You're going to forget the exact roles and the operators that you want. And it's possible that some of the skill that Vitality will likely have based on experience attacking this site is deteriorated to an extent, considering how little we see the site actually played.
Attackers are heading out
The thing that I actually find very interesting is that the walls in customs have not been reinforced leading into the passport entry.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So
yeah, not all of them.
well,
Two of
two of them, but not all. Yeah.
Attackers recovered the bomb
I mean,
diffuser.
I'm kind of surprised by that as well. There aren't a lot of things that need reinforced on this site. You've got the armory wall. You've got the jail wall.
I don't even know if they reinforced the armory wall because they were
wanna
setting up
say
a
they
mirror window into archive.
So
Yeah.
no, not that wall. The other armory wall. The one over to archive.
Into archive.
Yeah.
So they have that reinforced. They have a mirror window as well looking into it. It's very
Mirror window's been opened up. I believe that was the CCTV one. No, that was the
Yeah.
armory one. So we do have the armory wall or mirror window opened up, but it's not an attack through archives from Vitality. They're instead going to be focusing on horizontal play entirely, which I don't know how well that's going to work for them, considering this is all a vertical site.
they will have to rely on the Montaigne quite a bit, honestly.
Yeah.
Zephyr looking for the pixel angle, something that he's very well known for on that glass, not only on border, but especially on coastline. And, well, Hicks has a reinforced wall next to him, so he doesn't really have to worry about anything coming that way.
I'm worried for Vitality based on their setup right now. They seem to just want to puncture their way into the B site, and they could avoid some vertical play here, but there's going to be drop downs above them the whole way in, and Spark is actually just going to eat some gas as he walks into A site through the window, attempting to plant under cover of smoke. That's not going to work for you, man. I mean, even if the gas doesn't get you, it's going to be the bullets from above. Now, Bibu does get Hicks, so that's a good equalizer, getting the Smoke, who's not able to throw any more gas canisters. He'll get a second as well. Renshiro taken down. So a little bit of a misplay there from the castle, trying to get aggressive and get his team back in the lead. And because of that, Bibu will give his own team the lead.
I love that angle being used by Zephyr.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
This is a 4-meter wall. We saw a lot of these in Villa yesterday, where you can just, chuck stuff up from above it. However, here, he's repelling to use that as an advantage for himself to look down at any defenders who are possibly playing in the back of the stock or in detention. Livin spraying into the back. Safal will take a bit more damage, but it's a 3v3 with 34 seconds on the clock, which in Vitality time is an entire Millenium. Zephyr will get a kill on 11, but the dropout, Zephyr is ready to pull out the PMM as Rise is the last man alive. He does have a Nitro Cell to play with, but he makes so much noise. Vitality spot him and take him out. Beautiful way of attacking here into the customs. And what do you reckon it really was? Was it just mistakes of a Millenium, or?
Yeah. So that was a series of unfortunate events, all right next to each other in the span of 10 seconds. Here's what happened. Vitality rushes into the A site through the window while no one from Millenium is covering vertically. There's a hole in CCTV looking down onto the window, but it only has so much line of sight. And once the Lion is able to get past that hole, he starts his defuse plan deep in the site where there is no hole from the defenders pre-established, and it cannot be denied vertically, and the defenders are unaware of this. Meanwhile, we do see the glass push in through front door and is able to get such a tight angle onto that player in customs, just thinning the herd further and allowing for a better execution from the rest of his team. And from there, it's really just a lost round. The last player, the Mira, starting to drop from top floor as he realizes, hey, I can't really influence the round up here. I need to go and get into the fray. And yeah, I mean, 1v3 is not really going to be ideal. So a couple mistakes there. The main start of the landslide that allowed Vitality to get that win was very specific. No one was watching the A window. Nobody was paying attention.
You know what? This is, I think, the time where I would go for a similar reinforcement that Vitality did on that
5 seconds remaining.
on the armory wall, where they only did a half and half because you have to deal with the Monty. So if there's nobody to hold, the Monty covers so much that he can push in a bit and have somebody plant from behind him. And suddenly, those reinforced walls that are set up make it fairly difficult for you to go for a retake unless you can try and long arm it from the side. Now, you really want to have somebody playing from below if you're Millenium in this one, just in case you see somebody moving in from there. I wonder if the smoke of Livin had already set up some holes to contest that, but the Vitality will go upstairs. There's, of course, the the Jaeger, and I assume Bibu will try to contest the cafeteria.
So we've only seen one attacking round so far from Vitality, but in the way that Hicks on Fuse Shield was useful for Millenium, Raphael on Montaigne is not exactly the same. He's less a fragger, less control establishment, and more information gathering. He's doing a lot of drone work. He's doing a lot of face checking, as is Monte's role. And this is very interesting. Sidestep here. Bibu just rappelling in to open area. Very dangerous rappel, but we've seen it used well in the past. It'll be read by the defense, and he's going to eat some bullets as a result, but still a very powerful position if CCTV control is your priority and there are no roamers downstairs, and it seems that's the case.
You see Yogurt's still in the back of CCTV. Is pretty much foregone, I guess. He's just going to try to waste as much time as possible. You see almost every rifle from Vitality are trained onto him. They might need Rafael here just to clean him up. Now, there is a mirror window that has been set up upstairs on the armory wall, and Renshiro will give info back to his teammates. So, Vitality have to be afraid of dropping into CCTV with their shield and immediately being tested. Rafael, beautiful play there, turning around to avoid max amount of damage from the C4.
And very dangerous there. It's a hard thing to learn how to manage your shield properly, and Raphael certainly knows how. Hicks will get the first kill of the round onto Bibu. So a great start for the defense. Millenium starting to shape up here. We also see some damage onto Zafir, but Spark's able to get that kill on the Yogurt. So back and forth here, and a second one for Vitality as Zafir gets Hicks. Low HP himself, but he's able to secure one, and now two. What a shot onto Rise. Misplaying, so aggressive in the office, and now control in favor of the Vitality attack, and more importantly, man count, it's a 2v4. Millenium with only 15 seconds left could win this, but it's going to be difficult. Broken mirror window to make it easier for the direct contention, and Renshiro will be able to get to Montaigne as a result. A shotgun blast from Liven will get two onto Brid, and now Zafir, but Spark, the last attacker, gets Renshiro from behind, and it's all up to the time. On time and time alone, the defense will lock out that round. What a crossfire, what a play, a 2v4, and Millenium take it.
That was so smart from the smoke. Saw that he'd already gotten the 2 kills. That took him a couple more shells there at the end than necessary, but you know what? Sometimes that doesn't work out.
It happens.
Realizes the position he's in, has already spotted the Zofia in the back after she had gotten the kill in the hallway into the armory, and just snaked his way into the middle of the smoke and played from behind the bomb itself, not really wanting to peek out, realizing there's only 2 seconds on the clock, and you inch it out there at the end. It's a beautiful and brilliant bit of play from Millenium as they're getting closer and closer to a minimum of 1 point, and that's the next round potentially.
If the mirror window had not been broken there, if he hadn't proactively shot it, he wouldn't have been able to get the Montaigne. And that round would have gone the opposite direction. There's no way.
It's smart that they had the shotgun trained on him, but at the same time, the perfect angle from the mirror, as you mentioned, able to shoot through. I think another part of it from Vitality is that they were forced to rush in with little time.
Yeah.
Zofia was not in position to contest the mirror, and because of that, they weren't able to take the control and leave it up to one player to face the shield.
One thing I have to say about that Vitality take as well is exactly to build on what you were saying there with the time. Vitality's take was really without bite, and it's weird too, because they had some extremely aggressive plays going on. I mean, that Buck rappelling into open area from the roof, that is an exceptionally dangerous rappel, and the only reason you do it is to very quickly establish control over CCTV,
10 seconds to go.
and from there you can then cascade into an A take. But they lingered. It took them a long time to get CCTV control. It was not a free take as well. It did cost them a lot of manpower, and from there they just didn't have a lot. They did not have enough time, and they didn't have enough pushing power when they went for that B site. I mean, just to sidetrack a little bit, it's not the only reason you make that rappel.
Yeah,
I mean, technically you could also use it to like cut off the main hallway downstairs. But if we're attacking the top floor, that's the only reason you're going to make that repel.
Attackers
Yeah, and
dropped the bomb
we saw the entirety of Vitality basically focused on CCTV to eliminate Yogurts, and they were successful in it. That was the mindset that they had going into the round. But Rafal has the extended shield.
Does he know?
Oh my god, no. You have to take that out or else he can't move in. He'll have to snake his way through on the side, and that makes him take even more damage.
So this is really interesting. The Buck is actually going to CCTV to potentially open up above these defenders who are playing inside of Customs. Now, the drop-downs are reinforced, but it's a Buck, so soft destruction is soft destruction, and he's going to be able to open up a lot of angles. Zephyr will get Rise, so that's a nice play there from outside of Passport. Spark also gets Yogurt, so complete collapse on these Custom roamers, and that was a misplay and then some from Millenium to try and extend their control into Customs. They keep doing this. They early on put themselves at the disadvantage as the defenders because they're trying to play for too much control where they just need to anchor.
Yeah, and speaking of anchors, there's no smoke. It's an operator that was essential in the last second defense. Oh, what a position from Hicks. He can't get the finisher from the side though. Renshiro will get the kill on Spark. Livin upstairs, downs the Buck and takes him out. Goo mines are set up just in case as well, as there's still an extra impact grenade. Renshiro with a late setup on the reinforcement in the ventilation. Let's see Rafal.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Oh no, not again. C4 is going to get thrown out. The Valkyrie is going to try to run away, and she fires in. She's going to try to play in the bathroom. Can run back. There is a hole to be used, but they'll need Livin to come in and save the day. This might actually put Millenium in a bit of a problematic position, though. The Goo Mine will alert Hicks as he immediately turns around into Bride. And also here, Zephyr taking damage in the side. Takes down the ADS, and extra smoke being thrown in by Zephyr. Quicker on the trigger. 2 players alive for Millenium with Zephyr in the back. The servers in the workshop, they'll get sprayed, and Renshiro makes it work. Millenium put themselves on map and match point, guaranteeing a minimum of 1 point.
So 2 rounds in a row, Millenium put themselves early on at a disadvantage by losing so much manpower and then come back regardless of that fact. What a job they have done. Those anchors really shining today. And thanks to that operator ban phase, thanks to the excellent play from Millenium and some pretty massive mistakes from Vitality. Like you said, it's a guaranteed tie if nothing else, and Millenium are looking to get that win. They'll have 2 more rounds to do it, and we'll see if they're able to make that happen.
Yeah, because Millenium got those 3 rounds on the first half when they were playing on the attack, it really plays massively into their hands here once they get to the defense. And now they play Customs again with Hicks on the smoke. So I'm interested to see what Millenium change in the defense, because as you mentioned, when they were actually going for this defense, it was Vitality's first round, they put on the board on the attack. It was just small mistakes from Millenium.
Yeah, it was also, though, it was the first round they were able to get on the attack, but it was also the last round they were able to get on the attack. So Millenium coming back to this is kind of scary to me. But you're right, it was small mistakes. And if Millenium really... Okay, so if the attack is the same, and Vitality come from the front door and they want to push into A, which I see is unlikely, I think they're going to mix things up. Maybe go for Passport. Yeah, or Passport in the main hallway, that kind of area.
Yeah, we still have a similar setup here.
Right, so still 2 unreinforced walls, so that's still very much an option. They do have a Buck, but we'll see what happens. But if the front door take comes again, and Millenium actually have someone watching the window into A throughout the entire round, then we'll probably see a very different result.
This time, CCTV will be the focus for Millenium, instead of what we saw before, where Armory had even like a ton of reinforcements actually being played around it. The wall, as we mentioned, is only half reinforced with a castle barricade blocking the main entryway. I wonder if there's anything set up in Armory. I don't know if you can go back to that, Marciu. On the wall, yeah, they're gonna do the same as before. Not on the main Armory wall, but in the one leading into Archives, we'll still see a mirror window and 2 reinforced walls.
So the reason you do this is a good way to take the CCTV is to have control over Armory. It gives you a back door into the site. So that's why you have a castle. That's why you have a mirror. That's why you have reinforcements being placed on the Armory, because if nothing else, you can slow down that take. Now, Vitality are not going for that. They're going to go for another front door, But still, it's good that Millenium are thinking of all the possibilities.
Yeah, and maybe this is them spreading themselves out a bit too thin. At least that was the case in the first round, but Talented was on the attack end, so we'll get to see the effect of that. 2 castle barricades are being set up here along the main entryway and to the stairs. As you see the take into the CCTV cafeteria. Rafal, who's setting up behind him to help. They're trying to go for a pinch. And that's Zephyr. So he's got to be scared for any run out. And there it is. Yogurt jumps on out. Information being relayed in. And will get the kill on Zephyr this time. The advantage for Millenium.
Good prediction there on the run out. You're absolutely right. Millenium getting aggressive and Vitality now on the back foot. And that's not where you want to be when you're also in the back foot regarding the round count. One more victory, possibly just 1 minute, 15 seconds left here, and this will be all over. Millenium have a good setup to stop this AWOL push, and Vitality have not done enough in the round to deal with said setup. They're going to have a difficult push once it eventually comes. Yogurt with another run out, and he's going to get the shield. What is that repel? Attempting to smoke the hole so that Yogurts cannot play the vertical, and he will be successful at least in that endeavor. But Spark's able to get the entry onto Hicks, and Rise will get Bibu and Yogurts onto Spark. So Rid, the last attacker, and Yogurts yet again from above, able to lock it out. And that's it. Millenium take the match.
That was a beautiful bit of play from Millenium at the end, realizing what the weaknesses are in that attack from Vitality and exploiting every point of it. They saw the glass and later on the Monty that are set up repelling, and that's a perfect time for Yogurts to jump out and get the kill.
Yeah, I'm really confused, Gassan, for a number of reasons.
Please.
First of all, the attack from Vitality there, pushing the front door, probably the hardest way to address that site.
Pass protect.
I don't know it gets more difficult. That was in my opinion, a huge miscalculation. And yeah, you're right. You're trying to say it.
Passport check. Go from in there. There's